Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here we would like to explain about our material, the grammar equivalent and practice of translation. Before we explain, let me introduce myself. My name is Kumala, and the other member of this group is ditafia adiniannda. And the first, I would like to explain about the abstract. The aim of this study to determine the effect of group guidance service with sociodrama technique and group discussion technique on student career planning in class 8 at Mojobo Kudus Middle School. The study used a pre-post control group design. The subject of this study were the 8th grade students of SMP Negeri 1 Mojobo Kudus. Totaling 24 students were selected by purposes sampling. The results showed past tense description of students before being given group guidance had an average percentage of career planning of 79.125%, low category. Then obtaining group guidance with sociodrama technique increased to 96.44%, high category. The level of career planning using group discussion technique had a percentage of 65.13%, low category. After being given group guidance had a percentage of 78.73, high category. Discussion of the findings of this study focused on the effectiveness of group guidance with sociodrama technique and group discussion technique on career planning student in grade 8 at SMP Negeri 1 Mojobo Kudus. The comment of the abstract is the contents mostly use simple past tense because the content are about past research that have done. The second is introduction. Everyone needs employment to work in society. There are various types of work. Each individual has the freedom to choose a career or work and future outlook on life followed by responsibility. That is, being responsible for the consequence arising from that choice. A person's responsible for the consequence arising from that choice. A person's responsibility is not only resting and self-centered, but also with others in a balanced way. ILO 2011 states that choosing a job and planning for a career to be chosen is not enough just good advice. It is not enough for students because they also have some limitation in career planning, namely for the first is because they also for the first is ideas installed by the family and the community will be considered what is the right choice of employment and education. The second one is poor economic reality that prevents them from attending their choose education. And the last one is lack of access to education facilities. Adolescence is the transition from children to adults as individuals who are undergoing a process of transition. Adolescents have developmental tasks that lead to their readiness to fulfill the demands and expectations of their role as adults. Future or career orientation is one of the phenomena of cognitive development that occurs in adolescence, as stated by Elizabeth B. Harlock in this method 2008. And then the comment from the introduction is these contents mostly use simple present tense because the contents are about facts and theories. Based on the result of the initial study of data collection through observation and career planning questionnaire for class 8 students at SMP Negeri 1 Mojobo Kudus obtained result in which career planning has become one of the goals to be achieved through group guidance service. However, it was recognized by the PK teacher that the results were not optimal. There are still 24 students who are still confused about planning their career in the future. The overall information of Class 8 states that Class 8 has a low level and their grade point average is good enough to improve student career planning. Class 8 students totaling 32 students are known as student 95% have problem regarding I do not know what to do after graduation. Thus, it can be concluded that Class 8 need to be given special treatment to improve their career planning. This is because a career is an inseparable part of life. Career planning is something that students should do as early as possible. At least students have a picture and could plan for the desired future. Thus, given importance of the problem of implementing the sociodrama technique given by the PK teacher in the middle school, it is scheduled. The sociodrama technique given to the student is done by playing role in conducting group guidance based on the result of interview with PK teacher in Mejobo Kudus 1 Middle School. For this reason, there is a need sociodrama technique and group discussion technique with a method or other technique that is group discussion technique that make students able to work together in achieving goals. The next is research method. The research design used in the study in pre-post control group design. In this design consists of two experimental groups with the one comparison group, beginning the provision of pre-test given to all groups, then followed by the treatment. The study then ended with a final test or post-test given to both groups. Based on the figure 1, the experimental step can be described below. The first step, the initial questionnaire or pretest, was given to the sampling group, namely to experimental group and one control group before the treatment began. This career planning questionnaire consists of the career planning questionnaire based on self-assessment in adherence with the items that have been prepared. The second step, giving treatment after the initial questionnaire has been carried out, then the experimental group is given a treatment session. Treat in this case group guidance services with sociodrama technique in accordance with group guidance service, established treatment procedures. Finally, the treatment is given after the initial questionnaire has been carried out. Then the experimental group is given a treatment session. Okay, while the control group did not get treatment, treat in this case group guidance service with group discussion technique in adherence with treatment products that have been prepared. The comment for research method is mostly use simple past tense because it's explained about the method that is in the past research. And then in this study, the sample used was X student for the sociodrama engineering experimental group, X student for the experimental group for group discussion technique on career planning skill, and X student as a control group. The total number of samples was 24 students. The data collection instrument used a career planning scale. The instrument is used to determine the improvement of student high career planning abilities as expected. The items is said to be valid and can be used for data collection based on the analysis using SPSS 22 software. The result of the instrument trials of 60 statement items were tested on 60 students. There were 40 items validating the scale of career planning using the product moment correlation formula, while the reliability used the alpha crunchbot formula. The result of the validity test produced 40 valid statement items with alpha coefficient of 0.919. This paragraph this paragraph mostly uses past tense because it's about a past research report and methods.
Okay, hello, my name is ditafia adiniannda. My NBM is 091X013071, and I would like to present it about grammatical equivalence, and I'm continues the next slide from Kumala. And in this study, the sample used was ex-student from the socio-drama entering experimental group, and ex-student from the experimental group for group discussion technique on career planning skill, and ex-student as a control group. And then the total number of for a sample was a 24 student. And then in data collection instrumental use the career planning skill. The instrument is used to determine the improvement of the student who have a low career planning abilities and student who have high career planning abilities as expected. And the item is said to be valid and can be used from the data collection. Based on the analysis using SPSS 22 software, the result of the instrument trial of 60 statement items were tested on 60 students. There were 40 students validating the scale of career. The reliability used the alpha correspondence formula. The result of the validity test produced 40 valid statement items with alpha coefficient of the 0.91919. This paragraph mostly uses the past tense because it is the past research report of the method. Yes, because it is the report on the method, and we are group use the past tense. And then the next slide is the result and the discussion. Wow, the result and discussion is of the study indicate that there is an increasing trend in career planning of all inferential group. In subject with group credential inferential with sociodrama technique, it was found the career planning score at post test M is the result 96.44, SD 10.17, were higher than a pretest. M is the result of 79.12, and SD is 3.53. And then based on the table 1, it can be seen that in general group guidance, intervention with sociodrama technique and group discussion technique are effective for improving career planning. Change in the level of career planning in each group can explain below. Subject who receive group explain below. Subject who receive group guidance with sociodrama technique and group discussion technique had a significant increase career planning. Okay, the next slide. This comment in this slide is this paragraph used to present tense because this is explained about the table. The table is of the result. The table in the result, and I use a present tense. Okay, and the next is the slide 9 is based on the finding of the previous research, and research described of what it can be conclude that improving career planning can be overcome with group guidance and with sociodrama technique and group discussion technique, where students dare to speak out opinions, students are polite, students are be able to complete assignment on time, and students are be able to respect in other. In addition, students are able to understand the economic situation of the family in planning their career. Students also actively ask questions about types of secondary school and work to provide an overview of career planning. And this slide is where group comment, and this paragraph is mostly used past tense because it is about result of the research, and this is have done, and this event is past. This event is past. Yes, and the conclusion. The next slide is the conclusion. Conclusion is there are differences in career planning before after providing group discussion technical group guidance service in the experimental group B, meaning that group discussion technical group career plan technical group guidance service are effective for improving student career planning. The result of the conclusion of the increase in the average value between pre-test before treatment and post-test after treatment of each experimental group A with a sociodrama technique, experimental group B with group discussion technique show that guidance of sociodrama technique was more effective than group discussion technique, even though both were equally significantly able to improve student career planning. And this conclusion, I give a comment is we are group give comment is this session using a past tense because it is a content is of report of the research. It is the summary of the research. And then the next slide is counselor shall provide more varied career information service and increase the frequency of providing career information service to assist a student in making career plans by guiding and providing relevant information to career information service. It is better to be more sensitive if there is problem with the student to psychological approach. It requires techniques that are right on target and are needed by students, including using sociodrama technique and group discussion. Okay, this session of the conclusion is we are group give comment is use a simple present tense because in simple present tense it is in the last paragraph. It's give a suggestion in the research. Okay, thank you very much, and I'm sorry about my we are presented, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.